Would everyone please rise for the national anthem? Please be seated.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Masters, Dean of Occupational Programs at West Shore Community College. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's ceremony honoring the recruits of the West Shore Community College 46th Law Enforcement Academy. Today, we gather to recognize the hard work, commitment, and perseverance of these recruits. Before we continue, I'd like to invite the recruits to take a moment to acknowledge the family members, friends, instructors, and mentors who supported and encouraged them along the way. Your guidance and belief in these individuals has played an important role in helping them reach this milestone. I would also like to recognize several individuals whose leadership and dedication support the success of our college and the law enforcement program. Please join me in acknowledging West Shore Community College's President, Scott Ward. Executive Vice President of Academics and Student Affairs, Dr. Mark Kenny. Trustee Lindsay Earle. And Chair of the West Shore Community College Board of Trustees, Sherry Wyman. We are grateful for your continued commitment to the program and to the recruits. The individuals we celebrate today have completed more than 700 hours of training over the past 16 weeks. Recruits in this program have worked alongside each other in the Reamer Regional Public Safety Training Center, engaging at times with the EMS program students in joint classroom exercises and scenarios designed to prepare them for the realities of law enforcement response. These experiences have helped shape the skills, teamwork, and professionalism that are essential in law enforcement. The dedication demonstrated by these recruits reflects both their commitment to the profession and readiness to serve their communities. At this time, please join me in welcoming to the lectern the Director of Criminal Justice at West Shore Community College, James Taylor.
Good afternoon. My name is James Taylor. I'm the Director of Criminal Justice at West Shore and also the Training Director for the Police Academy. I want to welcome everyone to this commencement ceremony for our graduating class of recruits in the 46th Police Academy at West Shore. It It is a huge honor to serve as their training director in my 5th Police Academy. Throughout these 16 weeks, it has taken me back to my academy that was 32 years ago. I remember being tired. I remember missing my family. I remember missing my friends. I also remember making lifelong friends that shared the same passion that I do. I have done the same with this academy, except from a different position. I'm very fortunate to have shared a lot of these experiences with them, as I am sure that our recruits will not forget, just as I have during my academy experiences. Now I'd like to introduce the class commander of the 46th Police Academy, Officer Trombley.
Good afternoon. I'm Recruit Class Commander Luke Trombley of the 46th West Shore Police Academy, and I'm sponsored by the Manistee Police Department. Before I begin, I want to thank every one of you for being here today. And I want to thank Director Taylor and Mrs. O'Connor for your leadership throughout our time here. Thank you to all of our respective departments and offices for taking a chance on us. And thank you to the 55 instructors, guest speakers, and volunteers who took the time to teach us. Thank you to Dr. Reamer, the Fin and Feather Club, West Shore Community College Law Enforcement Scholarship, and Sheriff Kim Cole for his Legacy Scholarship. These scholarships made a meaningful impact in all of our lives. And thank you to all of our families. And personally, I know that I couldn't have made it through this academy if it wasn't for my wife's belief in me. And finally, we thank God for the strength He gave us to make it to this moment. So again, thank you all. Since January 12th of this year, we recruits have spent roughly 685 hours at this academy. We were pepper sprayed, some of us were tased, we were pushed to our limits in physical training, pushed to our limits educationally, and then thrown into scenarios to practice what we had learned. I distinctly remember the morning of January 12th as all of us recruits stood in our classroom waiting for Drill Sergeant Hintz to come through the door. And I actually think that we went into the classroom and stood at attention for 20 to 25 minutes, just watching the clock slowly tick down. We had no idea what to expect, and in fact, there were many moments like that in this academy, and it was in those moments that we stuck together as recruits and got through it together. When you look at the academy from the outside, you may just see a bunch of recruits running around not knowing what they're doing all day, and that's true in part. But what the academy really does is not only equip you with the fundamental knowledge of the law enforcement profession, but build upon your mental fortitude. We all know some of the challenges we face ahead, and I believe that it is safe to say that this academy has prepared us for whatever may come our way. As my last act of class commander, I'm honored to be the one to introduce you to the rest of the 46th class of the West Shore Police Academy. And to do this, I must reference the phrase, "I wish I could be a fly on the wall." And I chose that phrase because where we lined up every morning outside of room 125, there's a fly stuck on the ceiling. And at some point during week 1, we decided to make that fly our informal mascot. The fly has no name, and as class commander, I could have ordered someone to get it down, but I couldn't because I needed this segue. And a very long-winded way of saying, if you could be a fly on the wall or ceiling for class 46-26, here is who you would meet. Recruit Logan Baldwin. Recruit Baldwin and I drove to the academy together almost every day. If you could have seen him during the academy, you would see one of the most dedicated and loyal men that I have ever met. He took personal interest and cared for everyone, unless you were rolling with him on the mat in defensive tactics. Recruit Noah Bosley, Oceana County Sheriff's Office. When I think of Recruit Bosley, I think of someone who decides to show up every day, regardless of how he's feeling, driving conditions, you name it, and work. Recruit Bosley represents true leadership in the form of leading by example. Recruit Logan Jones, Manistee County Sheriff's Office, our personal criminal law textbook. On day 1 of the academy, Recruit Jones stepped into a position of leadership that no one else wanted, the guidon bearer. While the commander wore the brass, Jones was the one leading us every day. He started the march, he led us when we ran, he was the first in class every day. When I think of Recruit Jones, I think of someone who's willing to step in to lead no matter what may lie ahead. Recruit John Siegert, Mason County Sheriff's Office. The best way to sum up Recruit Siegert is through the words of an individual that went through the Corrections Academy this year. He leaned over to me and said, "How is Siegert so nice and so professional?" Siegert is the guy you turn to when you feel like giving up because you know he'll help get you back on the right path. Thank you again for coming here today, and thank you for all of the support that you've given us along the way. Here's a look back at our hard work, teamwork, and heart that defined our graduating class.
Thank you, Recruit Trombley. I'd like now to introduce our keynote speaker, chosen by the recruit class, Mason County Sheriff Kim Cole. Sheriff Cole was elected in November of 2012 following a nearly 28-year career with the same agency and now serves in his fourth term as the Mason County Sheriff. During his time working road patrol, he led a team of crash investigators as a sergeant and has been recognized as an expert witness in the field of crash reconstruction. In 2017, Sheriff Cole was honored with the Alumni Achievement Award from West Shore Community College. In 2020, he received the Richard H. Austin Traffic Safety Award for his lifelong commitment to traffic safety. And in 2021, he was the recipient of the Terrence L. Jungle, Michigan Sheriff of the Year. Sheriff Cole has served on the Michigan Sheriff's Association Board of Directors and was the association's board president in 2022. In 2023, Sheriff Cole was appointed to the National Sheriff's Association Board of Directors, being a voice for and representing Michigan's 83 sheriffs. Sheriff Cole is a fifth-generation Mason County resident and followed the example of his great-great-grandfather, Henry C. Cole, who served as the Mason County Sheriff from 1899 to 1903. Sheriff Cole.
It's certainly an honor to be invited here to speak before all of you and the class. To be selected by the class is an honor, and I get to do some really cool things as the sheriff, and as Director Taylor mentioned. You know, I've met 2 U.S. presidents, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, numerous U.S. senators, U.S. congressmen, been to the southern border a half a dozen times, even was in Israel last year. But being able to speak in front of my home team, if you will, and being part of West Shore Community College, where I graduated 32 years for you? Yeah. 41 for me, no big deal. Anyway, it's an honor. Thank you so much. I want to share with you today 3 stories. 3 stories out of countless stories of true Americanism. 2 you've probably never heard, 1 most likely you have. Abraham Clark was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He served as the High Sheriff of Essex County in the Province of New Jersey in 1775. He was the father of 10. He was a common, simple man, but what he demanded holds true today, and you see it every day. He demanded the word liberty be printed on our money, and that the Bill of Rights be part of the United States Constitution. Imagine, if you can, affixing your signature to a document and sending it off to a ruling country saying, we're done with your way of life, your rules, and your policies. We're going to go it alone. Think about that, considering in 2026, most of us are afraid to say who we supported, who we voted for, and quite honestly, we're willing to give up our rights altogether. Nonetheless, Abraham Clark signed the Declaration and sent it off. And what would follow was an all-out war with England. What most of you don't know was that Abraham Clark, shortly thereafter, had 2 of his sons taken captive by the British. They were beaten, tortured, and brutalized. But they would be freed and returned if Abraham Clark would do one simple thing: retract his name from the bottom of the Declaration of Independence. Abraham Clark refused. An incredible decision, considering the outcome of the war was anything but a certain victory for the newly formed United States of America. As a matter of fact, victory was highly unlikely. However, America would be victorious, but only after scores of deaths of our young men. Abraham Clark would get his 2 sons back. However, one would die shortly after being returned due to injuries inflicted while captive. And now you know the story of perhaps the first 2 POWs in American history. Grantland Rice was a sports reporter in the early 1900s. Imagine, if you can, having the honor to report on such iconic athletic figures like Cy Young, Ty Cobb, the 4 Horsemen of Notre Dame, and Hobie Baker. Today we have awards recognizing some of our nation's best athletes. Cy Young honors Major League Baseball's top pitcher, and the Hobie Baker Award recognizes college hockey's best player. Hobie Baker, to this day, is thought to be the best collegiate hockey player ever to play the game. Known for not only his pure talent on the ice, but his gentlemanly behavior, not only on but off the ice. Often, after a bruising game, Hobie Baker would limp to the opposing player's locker room and shake the hands of each player. In an article, Grantland Rice would write these words: "When the great one scorer comes to write against your name, he marks not whether you won or lost, but how you played the game." Lastly, which probably all of you know, a few short weeks ago, The United States men's hockey team defeated Canada 2-1 in a thrilling overtime gold medal classic. It happened on the exact same day as the Miracle on Ice iconic game, which was played 46 years to the day before. That would be 2 U.S. gold medals for 2 United States men's hockey teams over a 46-year span. That meant the United States men's Olympic hockey team had failed 11 other times over those 46 years. I was 15 years old and a sophomore at the Ludington High School on February 22nd, 1980, the night the Team USA defeated the Soviet Union. I can recall like it was yesterday, that night of 1980. You see, I was at the Ludington High School where the Reese Puffer Rockets were playing the Ludington Orioles. And I can't remember who played that game. I can't remember the outcome of that game. But I can remember the exact moment the announcer came on and announced a group of amateur United States hockey players had beaten a well-oiled team of Russians. The Russians were more skilled, faster, stronger, far longer in seniority, and were a 4-time consecutive gold medal team. The United States, on the other hand, had only one skater, Buzz Snyder, who had previously played in an Olympic hockey game. As Coach Herb Brooks addressed his young hockey team before the game, he made the following quote, which lives on to this day. "Great moments are born from great opportunities." And he would end that iconic speech saying, "You were born to be hockey players, every one of you." Decades later, my son, at 19 years old, was recruited to play junior hockey in Canada. He was the only American on the team. And I can remember the night he called to tell me he had been selected as the team captain. And in all the excitement and the hoopla and wanting to share in his joy, I said, "Son, remember this. Heavy is the head that wears the crown." You graduates today, you represent sheriff's offices, sheriffs, police departments, police chiefs, communities and agencies, but most importantly, you represent your families. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, folks. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I've chosen these 3 stories to remind you that often the path to success is not easy. Nothing worth fighting for ever is. You will win some and you will lose some. Life isn't always fair, and you will see this both professionally and personally as you move forward. You will experience and witness the very best and the very worst society has to offer. However, for a civilized nation to survive and thrive, we must have good people who are willing to stand in the gap between good and evil. Those like Abraham Clark, who refused to remove his name from the Declaration of Independence. Those like your instructors, co-workers, or as of this morning, the other 27,354 law enforcement officers who have been killed in the line of duty so that we can live in a free society. Abraham Lincoln lost more elections than he won. Jesus lost by a voice vote to a thief on a cross. And Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Please remember this. When the great one scorer comes to write against your name, he marks not whether you won or lost, but how you played the game. Do good, be good. You were born to be hockey players, every one of you. It's been an honor being part of this ceremony. It's a real honor for me, as this will be my last ceremony as a sheriff. And again, to be chosen by the recruits to be part of this is truly an honor, considering I've been where I've been and who I've met. This is the highlight of my career. Thank you, folks, and thank you, graduates.
Thank you, Sheriff Cole. I'd now like to introduce our representative from the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement, Brandon Williams.
Thank you, Director Taylor. It is my honor, truly, to be here and just bring congratulations to the recruits on behalf of the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards. MCOLS, most of you probably know, MCOLS is the licensing and regulatory body for all officers and training sites throughout the entire state. So obviously we have many tasks and responsibilities that come along with that. But one of my responsibilities is to give the license exam at the end of all the academies. And, you know, just like this test is big, right? And I could see there was a little bit of stress yesterday, and there usually is some fear. It's a 200-question, 3.5-hour application of everything they've learned throughout the entire academy. So I have to give that, and when I proctor that, there's usually some nerves, but just like with their PT MCOLS fitness test, they all passed on the first attempt. Yesterday, they all passed on the first attempt, so congratulations. So a little bit of relief comes after that. So again, I just want to personally say thank you to all the recruits for all their hard work, all the dedication. I know what it takes to get through that. So I really do appreciate all the effort. Same goes to Director Taylor, our instructors, our law enforcement peers, our friends, our family. It really takes a village in law enforcement. It takes a big collective effort to have a successful career and to make it through like Sheriff Cole has done. So thank you to all of you for your support as they begin their careers. The MCOLS Outstanding Performance Award provides recognition to basic training participants who exhibit high standards of performance, and that's measured by everything from their mental, their physical, moral fitness, all while in the training environment. Outstanding performance is measured by assessing the trainee's level of performance in the categories of knowledge, skill, leadership, interpersonal communication, demeanor, and appearance. So on behalf of the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, it is my pleasure to present the Outstanding Performance Award to Luke Trombley.
Thank you, Representative Williams. The recruit class of 2020 was given the opportunity to buy something for future classes. They chose challenge coins. A challenge coin represents camaraderie, unity, and they usually represent an achievement or an honor. On the front of this coin is the West Shore Criminal Justice Shield logo, and on the back lists the core values that you've learned: loyalty, duty, respect, altruism, honesty, integrity, and personal courage. Today, all the graduates will be given a challenge coin to commemorate the growth of learning you've accomplished during their time at West Shore Police Academy. I wish you all luck and safety as you begin your careers in law enforcement. We will now call up the recruits to present them with their badges, certificates, and challenge coins. I'll be joined on stage by Instructor O'Hagan and Instructor Hansen. Our recruits and their agencies will be introduced by Dean Masters.
The ultimate goal of each recruit is to gain employment in the law enforcement field. 4 of our recruits are employed by agencies and will receive badges today. Would recruit Logan Baldwin please come to the front of the stage? Recruit Baldwin is in the application process with local agencies. Congratulations, Recruit Baldwin. Would Recruit Noah Bosley please come to the front of the stage? Would Oceana County SO Lieutenant Scott Bosley please join the recruit? Introducing Deputy Noah Bosley. Would Recruit Logan Jones please come to the front of the stage? Would Manistee County Sheriff Gutowski please join Recruit Jones? Introducing Deputy Logan Jones. Would Recruit John Siegert please come to the front of the stage? Would Mason County Sheriff Kim Cole please join Recruit Siegert? Deputy John Siegert. Would Recruit Luke Trombley please join or come to the front of the stage? Would Manistee Police Chief Glass please join Recruit Trombley? Introducing Police Officer Luke Trombley.
Thank you, recruits, and congratulations on passing the police academy. Before I continue, I want to acknowledge our other instructors here. Instructor Dan Deller, Instructor Jordan Miller, and Instructor Steve Wietrkowski. I want to thank the families, friends, and employers of all of our recruits and our instructors and staff for their patience and commitment to the success of our academy recruits. I'm going to close with a couple of quotes that my mentors and coworkers gave to me for recruits on my opening day of my first academy. One of those is, when you choose law enforcement, you choose the right to become, or you do not choose the right to become unfit. Don't go to work to steal a paycheck, meaning you owe that to your department, your fellow officers, along with the community you serve, to work and give 100% every single shift. If you wait for dispatch to tell you what to do, you will have a very unrewarding career. Go out every day and try to do more than the minimum. Only a true professional officer can make a difference. Do the right thing at the right time, for the right reason, and you will not go wrong. I wish you all the best and be safe. I'd like to introduce Drill Sergeant Hintz for the passing of the guidon.
The passing of the guidon is a tradition in the military, symbolizing the transfer of responsibility as a unit is relieved and a new one takes its place. On the opening day of this academy, the guidon you see here, it's over there, was presented to the class and a guidon bearer was appointed. Today, the guidon of the 46th Academy class will be passed from the bearer to the drill sergeant. This guidon will be retired and a new guidon will be presented to the next Academy class. On January 12th, this class was called to attention for the first time. This afternoon, they will be dismissed for the last time. We will begin the passing of the guidon. Please remain in your seats until all recruits have exited. They will quickly return for a group photo on the stage. You are more than welcome to take pictures at that time also, and thank you for attending. Academy, on your feet. Forward step, march. Academy, left, face. Academy, forward, march. Academy, halt. Academy, right, face. Academy, left, face. Class 46-26, dismissed, fly!